record first? Recording?
Recording.
Here we go. Ready?
Neither of us are wearing black.
Weird. Hello and welcome to the Walk in Love podcast. I am TJ.
And I'm Brooke.
And today we are going to continue our journey into the learning tunnel as I recap day 2 of my Austin trip. We need more light! I'm stuck in the learning tunnel! Help! Would you rather fall into a cavern or get trapped in a learning tunnel? They're different. They're similar, but they're different.
I'm very afraid of heights
So
and of falling. So I think I would rather get trapped in a learning tunnel, but that sounds like I have to be engaged
engage with the tunnel?
with like learning.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So I could just
It's a hard
fall
pass.
through my fears,
And
but at least just like check out.
yeah, you're done.
Or I got to stay engaged in the learning tunnel. So
Hard.
I don't know which is worse.
Both have different pros and cons,
Yeah.
I would say.
Yeah.
Thank you for listening. Thank you for making this part of your week. We do, if you're watching on YouTube, we have these camera links that help us live edit and do different angles. One of them is broken. So we are down to 2 cameras. We knew this day was coming. It had one of those buttons that like you had to press harder and harder to make it turn on.
You shouldn't have to press it that hard.
And
No.
it's dead.
Very dead.
Sorry, we lost it. So
We lost him.
Yep.
We lost him?
yeah,
Yeah, we can't find him. Oh.
he's going to be all right. Wow, I'm surprised by your response. He lost his right hand, or he lost his left hand.
Yeah.
He's going to be all right. Why would you say it like that? Anyways, that's an Arrested Development deep cut right there. Thank you for listening. Thank you for making us a part of your week. I think I already said that, but we're really appreciative. And also a special thanks this week for all the comments on YouTube and the messages on YouTube. After last week, I was having like so much self-doubt. I was like,
Did I say words? Do I make any sense?
I said nothing productive.
Was I wearing pants?
Everyone is going to unsubscribe.
Yeah.
I don't know what I was doing, what I was thinking.
Yeah.
No one likes me. Everyone hates me. I'm just going to go home and cry.
Right.
That was kind of my vibe.
I have similar vibes when I talk for a long time,
Yeah.
except I don't doubt it so much as I just like black out.
Yeah.
Like I don't remember any of
Yeah.
it.
Nice.
And that's where I'm like, did I?
Yeah.
Did I
So
say
I was
anything?
having a lot of self-doubt, and I didn't say anything about it. Like I didn't go to the internet and be like, cure my self-doubt, like help me, feel better about myself, which that can be a crutch.
It's one way to do it.
People do that, and I try not to do that.
Yeah.
But it felt like there were more comments and encouragement about the episode than we normally get, and it just was like super encouraging to me. So thank you for that. Those who commented and sent us messages, like that was extra it's always encouraging to me, but it like had an extra sense of encouragement this week because I was feeling it. I was feeling weird after last week's episode. I felt like it was just frantic chaos of me trying to unpack life-changing things for me in an hour. So we're going to try to do it again today.
Yeah.
Although
great.
today there are less notes. I already looked through them.
Okay.
There are less notes, but it's still just good stuff. One of my favorite things though on the YouTube comments was from Rachel Heldebrand,
Yeah.
who live commented as she watched. So she has these like dashes and I guess was just typing things out as she felt they were worthy of typing. So I'm going to read through those.
It's good.
And then I'm going to encourage you to do the same. Every time TJ caws like a bird, caw, it reminds me of Moira from Schitt's Creek. LOL. My Mount Rushmore snacks would be chips and salsa, mandarin oranges, aka Mandy's, pretzels, and pistachios. Anytime I say hang on, my husband grabs something or anything, that I'm stealing that joke.
Yeah.
And I'm going to take full credit for it.
Yeah.
So let's just practice.
Okay, wait. Hang on.
I love that. The remarkable is very remarkable. It is. We're still giving one away.
Yep.
Yeah, I think we'll run that giveaway through the time this is live. Maybe we'll make Tuesday the last day.
Sure.
Yeah.
Remember that.
Yeah. We're not messaging you from a different account. Aye.
Yeah.
I love how Brooke's face is when TJ is talking. So interested and focused.
That's mostly
Is it?
true. I think I'm looking at the iPad.
I don't regret it, but it's just mostly true.
Yeah. I think I'm looking at the iPad to make sure we're in focus. And so
Yes.
when I'm squinting, I'm like, are we?
Yeah.
Are we in focus?
Not.
Is it my eyes?
I love that comment about Jesus changing all of culture. That is so true. I will definitely think of writing down when I've seen God's glory, which is something that we did. If you don't know who you are, people are going to tell you who you are, and you'll believe them. Wow, that's still so true.
Yeah.
Definitely do not want my future kiddos to be spoiled brats. LOL. Be blessed to be a blessing. Love this all so much. So, if you have any interest in doing that, that was so fun to read. And it helped me be like, okay, we did talk about something that was, valuable.
Yeah.
So the only place I don't recommend doing this is if you're a car listener. Don't live comment, but you can open a notes
Yes.
app on your.
Are you saying see the world or see world?
I don't know what I'm saying. You can open up the notes app on your phone, type out things as you go, as we say them, and then copy and paste that into the YouTube. That would be super fun.
Yeah.
We would appreciate that. Then someone else also commented that they wanted to know our Mount Rushmore. Rushmore. Oh, mountain. I'm free. No lightning today.
Wow.
Of where is it? Starbucks menu items. Big fans of the Starbucks.
Starbies.
Wow. Marriage and love. So I'll go first. I typed out your first two because I didn't know you weren't up here when I was writing notes. So you got to think of two. I typed out your first two, though.
Okay.
Am I right?
Yeah.
Okay. Mine are.
I could do drinks and
Right.
I could do
menu. This is menu items, though. She said anything on the menu.
Okay.
Mine is our iced caramel latte with almond milk. That's my new drink. It's my go-to.
It's
I love it.
It's goodie.
Bacon egg bites. Love those. Cheese Danish. That might be my favorite. If I had to pick a favorite, I'd probably pick the cheese Danish. And this one I don't get very often, but it's
old school.
It's got a place in my heart because this is what got me hooked on coffee. Java chip frappuccino.
Yeah. Java chip, baby.
Java chip, baby.
I love it. Mine would be a vanilla latte with almond milk, hot or iced.
Hot or iced. You can
Both
go either
good.
way. Both good.
Both good. Also a cheese Danish.
Yes. Those are the two I knew.
Yeah. My third one might be an iced caramel macchiato. Very good.
Yeah.
Very similar to your drink. They just make it differently.
Yeah. That's how drinks work.
Doesn't make any sense. It's identical to your drink, except they don't
They just
stir
make
it
it differently.
Right.
Yeah. That's how different drinks work.
And then I think my last one would be, well, if we're going to go with items that got you hooked on Starbucks, mine would be an iced white mocha.
Oh, yeah. That's old school Brooke drink.
That was, even till like 3 years ago.
Yeah.
And then I realized there was dairy in the white mocha sauce, and I was trying to do no dairy.
With Sunny.
And I was like, oh,
Yeah.
should probably change that.
And Brooke's week was good. My week was good. We are surviving the winter madness of snow and cold and nowhere to go and 2 young kids in a small house. So
surviving is the right word.
Surviving is the right word. There's not much to share about our weeks other than that, and our strong feelings collectively are that we are over winter. Although it's 50 degrees today, the sun is shining. The sun is shining. The tank is clean. The tank is clean.
The tank is clean.
So we're not really going to recap our week. We're just going to jump right into it because I don't know how long this is going to take.
Okay.
And last week we kind of I felt like, oh, yikes, we're at the end. I do have less notes though. So I hope it won't take quite as long.
Yeah.
But we're not going to recap our week just because that's where
Honestly,
we are right now.
I don't know if much happened.
Yeah. Because of winter.
Did we go anywhere?
We've not done anything ever.
Did we eat anything amazing?
No. No, we
didn't. Did we see anybody?
My parents came over. Oh, well, here's a story. So we do family dinner on Friday nights. And my parents came to this last one. It's like our entering into Sabbath. And we had takeaway, which was what we call it now because of the show Bluey. Takeout, Chinese food, sushi, etc. And then we watch a movie. So we don't have a TV on our main floor, like in our living room, mostly because the kids just never stopped asking to watch shows. So we have a TV in our bedroom where they usually watch TV, and then there's a TV in the basement where I game super hard and I'm super good and I've never died. So those are our 2 TVs. So on Friday night after family dinner, Brooke gives the girls a quick bath, I clean up, and then we bring the downstairs TV up into the living room. So it's like a
Yes.
special occasion. We do that on Wednesdays and Fridays.
Yeah.
Wednesdays is like for learning, mostly Mark Rober YouTube videos. Fridays is for family movie, and we pick in order. So it goes me, we pick youngest to oldest. So it goes me, Brooke, June, Sunny.
Yeah.
Last week was Brooke's pick.
Yeah.
I'm setting the scene, babe.
Wow, you really are.
We got time to kill.
Okay.
I don't think my notes are that long. So
Okay.
just killing time. This story does not
Nice.
matter at all.
But none of that matters. Okay, cool.
No, I'm just kidding.
Keep going.
So Brooke picked Enchanted. So our kids, we don't do a lot of live action movies because our kids don't have they're not interested.
Doesn't totally hold their
For June is there more so, but Sunny's not super there. So we thought Enchanted might be a good crossover. Spoiler alert.
Great crossover.
It starts animated, it goes into the real world.
Yeah.
If you haven't seen Enchanted yet, maybe
get with it, people.
Get with it, but maybe skip ahead. So my parents are like June's like, do you want to watch the movie with us? Papa, yeah. Do you want to watch the movie? Do you want to watch the movie? They're like, my dad's like, oh yeah, I guess I'll stay for a little bit. You know, it's a perfect impression of my dad. But we gotta get home soon. And
he had something to do.
So they sit down on the couch. We make a couch out of the nuggets. June sits down, starts cuddling with the Yaya. And then Enchanted starts, and my dad's like, oh, I don't know if I've seen this. And then he's like, oh, this is pretty funny. And then he stays for the whole movie.
Yeah.
It was leaving just in a few minutes, but they stayed for the whole movie. They loved it. He said probably 15 times, I don't know if I've ever seen this before. I've only seen parts of this, but it is such a good movie.
It's really funny.
Yeah, really, really good. So it's June's pick this week. We'll see what happens. Anyways, that was a funny story.
Happens.
Any other funny stories that happened this week? So we have our birthday corner. This is another funny story. This happened yesterday. We have our birthday corner that usually gets set up and then it stays for quite a while. So we had like these Brooke had these like shimmery, what's that stuff called?
I don't know. It's like a streamer.
Shimmery streamers on the wall. And on our to-do list this week was to take those down.
Yeah.
So I took them down last night as we were getting ready for dinner. The girls like scrambled them up and played with them for like an hour. The second I took them down, Sunny runs over to the wall and goes, oh, wall, I missed you, wall, and starts kissing our wall. So I'm not sure if what we're doing is right with kids, but that's where we are. Child is kissing
I'll
a wall.
accept it.
Yeah, that's fine. It's cool.
I missed you.
I missed you. Mwah. Mwah. So
that happened.
So yeah, but mostly the week is what can we do to get through the day without being able to go outside for the most part? Because our kids are basically over the snow.
Well, it's like wet.
And it's wet and it's like melting and anyways. So
all that to say nothing happened.
Nothing happened. Strong feelings. We're over winter.
Yeah.
So last week I recapped basically day one of Integrated.
Yeah.
And Integrated is a men's group that I'm a part of. Every member of the group is a Christian, married, although there is one single guy, and a business owner and a dad. Two or three of the guys don't have kids, but that's the primary of the group.
Yeah.
And so we meet together twice a year to kind of, improve our lives. Talk about integrating those things. Talk about things that are working for us, things that aren't working. It's led by Jeremy Pryor, who has a book called Family Revisions, which you should read. It's run by Jefferson Bethke, who has a bunch of books, and they both run family teams together, focusing on sort of like reintegrating the family as it used to be. Not so much the modern family, but going back to the ancient ways. The ancient ways. And so it's just such a great group. I love being a part of it. And we went to Austin in February, a couple of weeks ago. Brooke's brother got to come along, which was really great. She decided that we should gift him a membership, which was super cool. Still a highlight. Will probably be a highlight of my year. And last week I kind of recapped day one. Today I'm going to recap day two. Although I realized I was recapping day two a little bit last week. I was kind of going back and forth.
Yeah.
But the group is awesome. And let this be like my encouragement last week is the same this week is like, find your people. Find the group of people who are kind of in the same areas of life that you are and get together with them. Like it is so valuable. It is so good.
Yeah.
And it's just awesome. It's awesome to have that community. The internet kind of allows you to have that community in some ways, but like get with them, be with them in person. It's just like, it's unbeatable because so much of the value of Integrated in this meeting, while there was a huge amount of value in the like actual sessions.
Yeah.
So much of it was just in the conversations on the side while we were eating, while we were hanging out, like while we were walking places. Like it was just so good. So find your people, meet with them.
I think we realized like 2-3 years ago that, and I really mean this, I am not negating any of our people who do live locally.
Yes.
I'm not.
No.
But there is because we are business owners, believers, like we hit those 3 spots. Internet people. There is another type of my people that I have found, and we've gotten together like in groups like this. And it's just like this other level of like, oh, you get it.
Yeah.
This is awesome.
Right. And so it's so good. So Austin day 2, so usually how it goes is day 1 is more about business. Day 2 is more about family. I felt like Austin, we were kind of mixed and going back and forth a little bit.
A little bit integrated.
Yeah. It was like we integrated it.
Pause. Am I loud enough? Am I just not loud enough?
I like it.
Yes, you are loud enough.
But as long as I'm loud enough in the real recording.
Our headphones were giving us a weird buzz because this machine was maximizing headphone volume.
Yeah.
I also feel like I keep looking, but yeah, you look great.
As long as I sound okay.
You sound great. Okay. Everything's great.
I like it.
Here we are. Suddenly, I found myself awake.
I'm recording a podcast.
So the first session of day 2 was all about our wives.
Oh,
and something that I wrote down right away was as a husband, your wife makes you a leader because she is the first follower. She's the first person that says, I like where you're going. I want to go there with you.
I want to go to there.
I want to go to there. And I was just like, oh gosh, pressure, leadership,
Yeah.
Which like there is pressure in leading a household and having vision for where you're going. And it's not like it's my vision and I'm going to go there and Brooke's just going to tail along while cooking food and making dishes. Like, don't message us. We don't stop,
making dishes,
whatever. Just stop.
Am I a potter? Am I actually making
Yeah, you're
dishes?
making them and then you're cooking the food for them.
Within the dish.
You got to put them in the kiln first. You got to, put the
glaze
on it, and then you got to wash them to make sure the glaze.
Did you ever take a ceramics class?
I did. Yeah.
So did I. I enjoyed them.
I felt
they're hard, but they're fun.
Yeah, ceramics are hard, and then if you drop them, they break. That's how ceramics work.
But I knew you were going there. It's difficult, shall I say? Sorry.
And then the question
talk about leaders.
Yes, which I just love that statement. That was just really powerful to me. And then one of the questions that he asked was, are you resourcing your wife's calling with the enthusiasm of your own? And basically what he was saying is like, when we kind of touched on this last week, that like there is a point when you start growing your family that the woman is just more on call. Like, you got the goods
for family duty.
You got the goods. You got the goods for the baby.
You got the goods.
And so there are certain things that you just have to be there for the most part.
Yes.
And that's good. And that's designed that way.
Yeah.
And so there comes a point where a wife, because of kids, puts maybe one of her callings on hold. Something that she wants to do, a dream in her heart, it just goes on hold.
Yeah.
And a husband doesn't necessarily have to do that.
Right.
For the most part.
Yeah.
And obviously there are going to be outside, there's going to be there's
always exceptions.
Yes, there's always exceptions. We get it. And so
we get it. You're an exception.
Yes, you're an exception. You're so cool. We get it. Okay, Becky, calm down. And so there is this element of like that calling might be on hold, but don't let it die. And us as husbands, and Jeremy said something really cool that I really liked. He's like, his wife's name is April, I think. Now I'm panicking. Okay, gosh. Whew.
Like from Parks and Rec.
Yes.
That's how I remember it.
He said, there was a while where like that was her main role, just, being mom, doing homeschool, like all that kind of stuff. And he's like, I don't know if I did a good job of cultivating some of the things that she wanted to do, like having them ready so that when she steps out of that role, because the kids get older, et cetera, we're ready to rock and roll. And he's like, now I've kind of done that stuff.
Yeah.
And he's like, but what's cool is like, what's cool is that like when your wife kind of gets out of that stage of being just like so
I mean, I think one of the first big jumps is like when your kids
start going to elementary school.
Yeah. Or all of them are in elementary school and you're like, whoa, my days are just open.
Yeah. You now at that point might have more resources from the family or from, financial growth or whatever to then invest more heavily in one of your wife's callings, one of your dreams. And so to basically remind the family of that over and over again for years and years and years is so valuable because it allows that dream to still kind of percolate.
Yeah. Because I think it's very easy, and I can speak to this mostly from my personality, but I think it's probably somewhat across the board. Like the longer you stay in that like primary motherhood role, it does become easier and easier to be like, really, it's fine.
This is all
I don't need to do that. It's really not a big deal. Just like I can't even right now even think about that.
Right.
But just, those like subtle, gentle, but consistent reminders of like, I get that, babe, but you will not be here forever. Like, I know it feels that way, but you won't be.
Yes. And so what can we do?
You don't want to be totally surprised and shocked and not know who you are when you come out the other side.
Yeah. And that was one thing he said. He's like, that's why you see so much gray divorce now, which is like divorce in the 50s and older because.
I've never heard that.
Yeah, I didn't either. So I was like, what does that mean?
Hey, wizard, what does that mean?
Yeah. And he said, well, no, he doesn't have a beard. Although that would be amazing. And so like, it's just because people haven't cultivated their dreams. And so when their kids are gone, they kind of lose meaning and have midlife crisis, nervous breakdowns, et cetera, get divorced, and it's horrible. And so it was just like a nice reaffirming. And for me, when I heard that question, are you resourcing your wife's calling with enthusiasm of your own? To me, I was like, yes, I am.
Yeah.
Like, and I can say that confidently because I feel like I do that. But I know that some of the other guys were like,
well, the key word there is enthusiasm, which you have for anybody.
Yes.
So that probably is easier for you.
It is easier for me. The hard part for me is maybe having something be delayed because of a season that you're in and not being like, well, what can we do now to make sure that like it's ready to go?
Let's start now, just smaller.
Yeah. Like, and that's hard for me. And so to understand that was really like to just be encouraging that and just be like, just enthusiasm is enough at times. And that's okay. Yeah. And it doesn't need to be enthusiasm with all these steps and all these ideas and all this like planning. It can just be enthusiasm. It can just be encouragement, really not even just enthusiasm, but encouragement that like your life won't be like this forever. And so what do you want to do? What are you called to do? What do you believe that the Lord has put in your heart and he wants to see you walk out? And how can I be a reminder of that for you so that when you're feeling like this is my life and it will never end, this is winter, Aslan will never return, how can I remind you that Aslan is coming back? Aslan.
Are you saying see the world or sea world?
And then another question that he asked that I really like is, do I have a PhD in my wife? And that...
I think you have a DMD.
DMD? Dr. Medical?
Dr. Medical Doctor. I think you've got that. I think we did once. Yeah, we did. We did. There used to be a doctor's office like right down the street.
And we would drive.
We were walking or driving or something.
You were like, what is DM?
No, I think I
asked.
I mean, you see it on every sign.
Yeah, it was like Dr.
So-and-so.
Steve Smith.
DMD.
And I was like, what does that mean? And you,
I don't know.
Without hesitation.
Dr. Medical Doctor.
So, if you're a Dr. Medical Doctor, let us know what that means. You made it. You've done it.
Way to go.
World's best cup of coffee. And so the next part was like, we should write down what we think our wife is called to. And so this is what I wrote.
Okay.
You ready for it? This is unscripted.
Okay.
I think Brooke is called to be a mom. It's called to teach. It's called to lead, called to give, and called to inspire. And the only resource that becomes an issue for us sometimes is time. Time in the day, time in the week, time to allow those things to be cultivated. So
that's good. I like it.
And then and then I wrote down this as we're just unpacking this. One of the main issues for Brooke into stepping into her calling, like, well, first I'll say me. One of the main issues for me to step into my calling is distraction. I can easily find myself distracted or overthinking it or like just putting aside and going to do something else. Like, this is shiny type environment for me.
Yeah.
For Brooke, it is engagement. like you stepping into your calling, like is not entering low power mode. And how can we
I actually have to show up?
Yes. And that's where the tension is when we talk about where we're going and how we're going to get there together. And so we have to live that out weekly, daily, minutely.
Sounds like a company.
Yeah. Some internet.
Minutely.com.
Welcome to Minutely. We'll turn your hours into minutes.
That's all it is. It's a clock where you're like, I have 8 hours left. And that shows you how many minutes. You're like, until work's over. Now I know.
We'll turn your years into minutes. Wow. So, and then after all of this, after the sort of this like encouragement to find a PhD in your wife, this is where, and I kind of touched on this last week. Would you say that you have a PhD in me?
I think so. Now more than ever.
Yeah.
Excuse me.
I think that we have, I would say that I have a PhD in you.
What does PhD stand for?
It's something a doctor gets. That like you get your PhD. That means you become a doctor.
I know that means that.
Yeah. But I don't think primary human dominations.
Doctorate. No. I bet it is doctorate.
I don't know.
Physical health.
No, because it's not always a physical thing. It's true. No one knows. It's impossible to know. I think that's part of getting a PhD. They tell you in a secret ceremony with robes, this is what PhD means. Tell no one. Yeah. It's kind of like Fight Club.
Right.
So
I would. Makes a lot of sense.
But that question to me is super challenging because, like, it means that I study you. That I study how.
Did you pay attention?
That I pay attention. Maybe that's what it is. Pay attention. Human devices.
Oh, it's PAD. Oh, you're losing the A.
Personal hand deodorant. There it is. Nailed it. Break me off a piece of that.
Krispy Kreme.
Football.
Fancy feast.
Fancy feast. Nailed it. It's a cat food. And so if you're listening to this and you have a spouse, do you have a PhD in them? And are you studying them, not like a scientist, but are you aware of what makes them tick, how they go from point A to point B, what distracts them between point A and point B, you know, what gets them frustrated, what they do with their anger, what they do with their rage, what they do with their stress, what they do with their anxiety, like all those things are important to know because once you understand them, you can have realistic expectations on what your wife or husband is trying to tell you through their actions. What's in the chair behind? I would say that a PhD in your husband or wife is like really understanding what's in the chair behind them. Yeah. What's going on in their heart and their soul that is causing them to be angry, frustrated, sad, tired, etc.
Or all the positive emotions. Happy, excited, fun, happy, joyful,
happiest. So, you know, what are those? And I think one of the ways to find a PhD your wife is what we went over next, which was if I have the chance and the choice to between choosing to fix the situation or intimacy, understanding the situation, I should choose intimacy. And that to me is one of the hardest challenges as a human. Yeah. Because I want to fix mostly through laughter, everything. Like kids get hurt, let me do something that makes them laugh. It is a constant reminder to myself to say, okay, June needs to know that I am not just a distractor, that I am a caregiver. Yeah. And so when she gets hurt, sometimes the distraction is the right play, but not every time.
Right.
And so that sometimes is a tension for me, and I'm trying to understand and see when that tension exists because I do not always want to choose to fix it. Yeah. There are times where I need to choose intimacy. And then through intimacy with you, I think I can fix situations better.
Oh, yeah.
You know, and so that was huge on my notes.
Or situations in the future may not arise because there's been more communication up front or understanding.
Yeah. And so that was just really super encouraging and challenging to me. And I still think about it basically almost every day. And so then like another thing that was really talked about, and like this was more like just like he kind of, you know, gave this little spiel and then everyone was kind of like adding in, and it was really cool. And so it's like sometimes I feel like in those moments I'm not very good at note taking because I'm so focused on listening to what the person is saying or asking. But I think one of the common questions was like, okay, like, you know, a lot of the guys in the group have little kids, and so they're like, you know, my wife is just at home all day, and I'm coming in and out and I'm working and I get to do, like get to go to lunch with people or like whatever.
Yeah.
How do I show her in those moments that I value what she's doing?
Yeah.
And that it's seen and known without being like, cause I think a lot of us go to, well, let me just give you time to be by yourself and I'll fix it. And not necessarily, sometimes I think that's great. And I think that's needed, but not all the time. And so what Jeremy said, obviously Gandalf the wizard, he said, show your wives that their family mission is our most important mission, that business isn't the most important thing, that making money isn't the most important thing, that fixing the situation isn't the most important thing, that your family mission, the mission that you've declared as a family, is the most important. And if you show her that constantly, she'll feel like, oh, well, I'm seen because I'm doing my part. I'm on mission. Yeah. My mission is a little bit more in the trenches, I would say, as, with little ones, especially really little ones. Yeah. But it was just like super encouraging. And then, he said, help her cast vision when you're in a season without little ones. And so like, what does that look like? And have those conversations now and often. And it doesn't need to be like some whiteboard conversation where you're, circling things and underlining things. It can just be casual in the car. And that's hard for me because I want to jump into like action mode. But, if that's not hard for you, that'd be a great place to start. If you feel like your wife, I think one of the guys in the group said, like, I feel like because of where we are, the season of life that we're in with the little kids, I feel like my wife's personality is evaporating. And I think that's a reality that a lot of us see and live with, especially when we have little kids.
Yep.
And like Brooke said, sometimes it's easier for you to just be like, I guess that's just who I am now. Like, I'll just check out. And like, that's the easier. It's less energy because energy is so finite in those seasons. Yeah. And so I think as husbands, to encourage that personality and give a place for that personality to flourish.
Yeah.
Whether it's a small place and it's 10 minutes a day or it's a long weekend or whatever, like that I think is important for us to show like that we're going to get through this and we are not actually just even going to get through it. We're looking beyond it and we're going to cast vision for what it's like when those kids are older and we have more space and more physical energy to kind of do those things. So super good.
Because again, all of it, the goal is to thrive.
Yes.
As a family unit. Did you not say that yet?
Not yet.
I thought you said that last week.
Maybe I did. But yes. As
a
family team.
Not maximize.
Yes.
I'm sorry. I thought you said it last week.
Maybe I did. I don't know.
So I just was trying to.
It wasn't in the live commenting, so I don't know. I have no memory. Okay, so then we kind of hung out. I think we did lunch or whatever, and then
got some big heads off. It was
it was fine. Yeah, it was great. And then we talked about. So this is an evergreen topic at Integrated. We talk about it every time we get together. Evergreen, in case you're wondering, evergreens never lose their leaves.
Like a tree. Leaves, needles. Come on.
Needles. Oh, sorry.
Are you saying see the world or sea world?
So rhythms, family rhythms is an evergreen topic at Integrated. Yeah. And family rhythms living in a 7-day rhythm has totally changed Brooke and I's life. Could you say that?
Yes.
100%. And it was first kind of introduced to us in Austin last year. And so it was cool to like kind of be reintroduced to be there and be like, man, what a difference in this year this concept has made in our lives. And so some of you guys might be thinking, we kind of talk about it here and there. What does it mean to live in a 7-day rhythm?
Yeah, we have.
One of the best resources that I could just send you to is the Family Team's 7-day family e-course. Yeah, just pay for it.
It's real
good. You'll get to meet Gandalf the wizard, Jeremy Pryor. And if you buy it, it comes with a calendar. I think they have a family calendar, which Family Teams now sells. So the idea is basically that the week is the only time frame that has nothing to do with like the sun, the moon, the way the earth spins and orbits everything or whatever, you know. And so it is something that God created. He created the earth in 7 days. That is his timing. That is his timeline. That is the way he desires us to live, and he desires one of those days to be a day of rest. And so living in a 7-day rhythm allows you to rest and work and have a rhythmic sense of life. Cultures have tried 5-day weeks. They've tried 10-day weeks. Productivity goes way down. people go crazy a little bit, like things, people get depressed. And so there is obviously something created in us to live in this 7-day rhythm. And so it's a gift to us. And that's what Jeremy always says. He's like, it's a gift to us. It's not something that's required. It's not some legalistic, Christian walk thing. It is a gift. And if we can accept the gift or we can ignore it. Yeah. And so we chose to accept it this last year, and wow, game changer.
Yeah.
And so it's really kind of the e-course is great. That's a great place to start. But basically what we decided to do and what he encourages everyone to do is take a Sabbath. Pick one of those 7 days to be a Sabbath. Just start there, because what that will do is, so we picked Saturday. So Saturday was our Sabbath, and we started there. And so changed Friday, because now Friday we're preparing for Sabbath. So Friday became a cleaning day, became a day because we realized really quickly we couldn't rest if our house was messy.
Yeah.
It became a day that Friday was started with Sabbath was started with a really special meal for us. And then it also changed Sunday, because now if we're resting on Saturday, what does Sunday look like?
Right.
And then it just, and then it has this ripple effect where it starts changing all the days.
Yeah.
And the 7-day rhythm concept is that you just find out how to live 7 days, and then you just repeat it, and it makes life a lot easier. And so when I got back, I was like all fired up from Integrated. So we started using the family plan calendar more seriously, and we're writing everything down on the dates. And what I'm doing now, which I love, and I think is a great hack of the family plan calendar, is we basically write out all the stuff we're going to do: work, school, meals, etc. And what I'm doing is after the day's over, I'm either highlighting it in yellow if we did it, or crossing it off on red if it didn't happen, or we got distracted, or it just didn't work. And so that at the end of that first week, when I was back from Integrated, it became very clear, okay, Monday works really well. Wednesday works really well. All those days are highlighted. Yeah. Tuesday was pretty good. Thursday was a snow day, so it was a disaster. Basically, the whole thing was marked off in red. And then Friday worked pretty well. And so then at the end of the week, Brooke and I can have a conversation about, okay, here's the things in the rhythm that are working great. Here are the things that didn't fit. What are we going to do with them? How are we going to eliminate them? What are we going to put in their place?
Yeah.
And it just allows us to just be on the same page throughout the week, have a realistic expectation of what's going to happen, what we're required to do. And it's just a game changer. And then when you add that day of rest and that Friday meal, there's something holy about it. There's something unique about it. There's something amazing about it, that the second we sit down for Friday dinner as a family, the atmosphere in our home changes.
Yes.
And it's just incredible. And so the 7-day week is a tool given to us by God. So you can use it or not. I'm going to choose to use it.
Yeah.
We are designed to live in 7-day cycles. I'm just reading my notes right now. Maturity is learning to live a week at a time. And then the main takeaway that I love, which Brooke already spoiled, was it's great, babe. You want to say it again?
No, you say
it. we are trying to thrive and not maximize. And what I would say that Western culture does, that modern culture does, is maximize. Fit more in and do more as a family, as individuals within a family.
Yeah.
And so it's almost like you're not really a family. You're just going from place to place.
Yep.
Instead of what God designed us to do, which was to thrive.
Yeah.
And we want to thrive. And man, that line, we were trying to thrive, not to maximize, is so huge. And it allows you to say no to more things. It allows you to prioritize the right things. And it was just really good. And then he opened it up to the floor that was like, what are your challenges in your rhythm right now? So mostly the guys that have been trying to practice it or live with it. And there are some guys that have known Jeremy for years and they've been doing this for like 10 years and they're like, Jedi masters at the rhythm. So I raised my hand and I was like, right now we got Monday and Wednesday down pat, no problems. Fridays are pretty good. Saturdays are nice. Sundays, I feel like are, 60, 70%. Tuesdays and Thursdays, we are like lost puppies trying to find our way in the dark. And so I was just like, and I was explaining like Tuesdays and Thursdays, we have the girls. Brooke and I are unsure if like, should work be a priority or should family be a priority? June's not in school. Sunny's not at her grandma's house. Like what are we doing? And one of the guys, Blake, he's so funny. He's like, it just sounds like you're not doing anything. And I was like, oh, there it is. And so this Tuesday, so this Tuesday and Thursday, we really made a priority to write down what the day looked like. And last Tuesday was a hit. Yesterday was pretty good. The weather definitely does add some difficulty for sure. But Yeah, last week was definitely a lot better. And so, but that's part of the rhythmic living is now that we look back, we see what works, we see what didn't, and then we adjust.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Just go take the course. So I don't have to because I find myself wanting to add more and this is why, and here's why, but they do such a good job. Like that is such a small investment financially.
Yeah, I think it's like $80 or $50 or something like that.
I don't know. If it's $150.
We're going to give one away.
What?
Yep. Let's do it.
Okay.
Comment on the YouTube. We're going to pick one of you. You're going to win the e-course for free from us.
I love it.
We're just going to buy it for you.
I love it.
Nice.
Do we get to set the password?
Yeah.
Nice. DMD question
mark? And so that was really, really good. One of the guys gave a really good piece of advice that sometimes the best way that they Sabbath in their rhythm is to find a third location for Sabbath that the whole family can go to.
I love that.
They go to a park, they go to a trampoline park. That was the example that he used. It's tricky in the winter, especially with the COVID stuff, but that was really nice. And I'm really excited to kind of utilize that in summer let's find a third location during Sabbath to just go and let the kids kind of just flourish and run about and stuff. So that was pretty cool. So rhythms were great. It kind of detoured into what do you do about screens in your house? And we actually just bought a book called Taming the Technology Monster.
Yeah.
Which is really thin.
It's like a little handbook.
We haven't read it yet, but I haven't read it. Did you read it yet?
Not
no.
yet.
Okay. But it's recommended. Hopefully that has some good stuff. And basically one of the guys said, when you need it, use it. Don't make it a crutch, which is nice, easy, simple. And then one of the guys with older kids was like, here's what I do. We give them one charge a day for their device. And when it's dead, or one charge a week or
a day.
A day would what? I think it was a week. One charge a week.
Nice.
And when it's dead, it's dead. And so so
you could blow through it in 2 days or you could be smart and hang on.
I would blow through it.
I would be smart and
one of our main screen things in our lives is we don't let our kids do phones. We don't let them go to the handheld side of the phone. That's just one of our rules. I just feel like that's just what we feel like works. Is smart.
You did say that.
Yeah, that was weird. We do the iPad sometimes. But and again, it depends on the age and stuff like that. But that's kind of a baseline rule for us. No phones for the tiny ones. Don't feel judged if you give your kids phones. That's not the point of that. That's just one of our rules. But we're probably better parents than you.
Too far.
Oh boy.
And then we had a hot seat in that second day where it was a hot seat is where you come with your issue to the group. Your question. You say it. You say it in under a minute, and then you sit back in silence as everyone throws ideas at you for 6 minutes.
Yeah.
It's very challenging because what you want to do is if someone throws you ideas that you've already tried, you want to say, well, blah, 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 and you want to justify all this stuff. And so it's nice to just sit in silence and listen. So I brought my hot seat.
Hot seat. What was yours?
Basically to 4 guys in the group. And I said, how do I write a book?
Oh.
Because I want to write
with words.
Yeah.
At a computer.
At a computer, maybe a typewriter, although that would be loud. And so they were basically just there's really just 2 stages. Brain dump, write everything 500 words at a time, 1,000 words at a time. Don't think of the order. Don't think of the plan. Just write. Get used to writing. Yeah. And then as you kind of brain dump it out, you'll start to cultivate what the idea is. Because my issue, for whatever reason, anytime I've tried to do this, I want to write it in order. And I want to write it perfectly.
Yeah.
From start to finish.
Interesting. 7s and stress go to what?
Yeah.
Huh?
So.
What number? Huh?
And then you'll be safe. And so that was really good. There's mostly a couple of guys there's a New York Times bestseller in the group. So
no big deal.
It's fine. Definitely not intimidated.
Is that Jeff?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then those were basically all my notes. We're doing pretty well, babe.
I like it.
But then at the end of the day, I wrote my highlights from the day, and it was getting that advice for Tuesdays and Thursdays, which I think Brooke had given me a few times,
maybe.
But I was just struggling to get there. And that's one of the benefits of being around your people is that, and Brooke obviously is my people, but sometimes those closest to you, you just don't listen to. You're I don't think that's the right answer for whatever reason. A prophet is without honor in his homeland. There's just something about that where you're just let me think about that.
Yeah.
I don't trust you, Phyllis. And so
the last 2 Tuesdays and Thursdays have been huge. They've been great. I feel like we're on the same page, and we're just going to get better and better at them. The advice for writing the book was really good. And then the other highlight from that day was choosing intimacy instead of fixing it with Brooke. And that was just like super challenging. That was the most challenging part of the weekend.
Sorry.
Watch out for your mic there.
See, I just hit myself in the face.
Were you on the main screen?
Oh yeah, we've been split screen most of this time.
Yeah, we got a camera down. And then I wrote some goals for Next Integrated, which I'm going to share here because as I share them, I become more challenged to do them because I know people know, was to write down.
I think that's called accountability.
Yeah, that's how accountability works.
Okay.
Write down family vision and goals. So we have them for our family.
Yes.
I don't know if we've expanded on them enough in detail. And so having an expanded version of what our mission and family goals are. That's when I want to do my Next Integrated. The other one was try the 5-minute podcast for 2 months to see if that would work. And it was basically just like, they don't want us to come in with like 100 goals because that's kind of the tendency of people who join this group is like, well, I want to do everything that you've told us to do. And I'm going to do it all next week. And it's just like, just come with 2 goals, 1 business, 1 personal. And obviously from those 2 goals, more things will happen. And so those were my 2 main takeaways that I wanted to do. And then the last thing I wrote on my notes, which was like at the end, it was like, this was more of a personal challenge to me. It was Brooke would flourish with time blocking. What is holding me back? And that's kind of what I think Tuesdays and Thursdays were feeling kind of chaotic. Mondays and Wednesdays, we kind of have it. It definitely fits your personality better than it fits mine. And I think that's what's holding me back is like selfishness, maybe a little bit, pride, just not wanting. I don't wanna. What's that? I don't wanna.
I don't know. Is that from something?
No, that's just from my brain. But like, that's my excuse.
Yeah.
I just don't wanna.
Right. Which is so funny to me because all we're suggesting to ourselves here is to live. It's just a deeper form of living rhythmically. Yeah. It's not a schedule. No. It's not set in stone. No. It's not like your time's up, clock out. Like it's not any of that.
Because even yesterday being Tuesday, we had the day kind of planned and we had written family lunch on the family plan calendar. It got crossed off in red because you were out with the girls while I was working up here and you just got food on the way. Yeah. It was like,
which was I wasn't even planning on doing that.
And so like, no big deal. Like it was actually great, and so that was integrated day 2. Super helpful. I think the main thing that I would say, again, the main takeaways from this group is find your people, be with them, go see them, get on an airplane, get them together in some sort of, conference room A, like, and just hang out. And like, it's just so beneficial to life and it's amazing. Community is what we're designed for and we should be in it. And don't let circumstances make you avoid that, Right. And then the other thing was like, the other real big challenge for me and the big takeaway was just like the rhythmic living changes everything. I know that personally. And I think when I first heard it originally, I was more like, yeah, that might work for you, but you don't have XYZ. Right. You don't have kids that are young anymore. You don't have a job that isn't as scheduled as a normal job. You don't have this, like, and we can find excuses to prevent ourselves from using a tool. Like, a hammer's always the easiest tool. A hammer's too heavy or it's too hard or it doesn't fit my house or whatever. Like we can, it doesn't fit my life. Like we can find reasons not to use a tool that's there for us to use, but that's only hurting us. It's not hurting the tool and it's not hurting the creator of the tool. It's just hurting us. Yeah. And so the rhythmic living has just been a huge game changer for us. And so like, if we can encourage you in anything, it would be that, because that will then have a trickle down effect on all sorts of areas of your life.
It really does.
And the PhD in Brooke has been maximized because of the rhythm. Like the rhythm helps the PhD. The rhythm helps the empathy for my kids. The rhythm helps me be a better dad, me be a better husband. Yeah. Rhythm helps me walk with Jesus more closely and intimately. It helps me get more work done. Like there's just so many benefits. And so don't look at the tool and think it doesn't fit to your life. Like use the tool so it does fit. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
a good word.
And then lastly, this is actually has nothing to do with integrated, But I've been thinking about this lately, and I feel like it's good, and so I want to share it with the group, share it with the audience, the podcasters. We need a name.
Listeners,
listeners. Yeah, it's like, what are Josh Groban's fans called? The Grobanites. We need a cool name like that. Yeah. I don't know if we could use Grobanites. I don't know if that's.
I don't think that applies to us.
It doesn't make much sense. But anyways, I have been challenging myself, as specifically at bedtime. You have 5 more minutes of patience in you. I've been telling myself that. You have 5 more minutes of fill in the blank in you. You have 5 more minutes of cleaning up in you. You have 5 more minutes of writing in you. You have 5, and the beauty of that statement is that if you have 5 more, you probably have 10 more.
Right.
And so I get to the end of 5, and I'm not timing it. I'm not like, okay, 5 more minutes of patience, Sonny, you're on the clock. Yeah. But it's just a good reminder to yourself that whatever situation you're in, and I specifically am speaking to kids at this point, like, you know, bedtime is hard. It's at the end of the day. I just want it to be over. I just want to relax. But I have 5 more minutes of time with my children. Yeah. And that is not a burden. That is a blessing. And if I can start to, you know, reorient myself and the way I see it as a blessing, then I have 10 more minutes. Then I have 15 more minutes, you know, and it's just like, it becomes less of like, oh, we have to go through this. We have to go through teeth brushing and all this kind of stuff. Like, and so, yeah, just like an encouragement to you that you have 5 more minutes of fill in the blank in you. And maybe remind yourself of that this week as you're going through it.
I love that.
Anything for you to add? We're under an hour.
Fine.
We did it. We're trying to keep them under an hour.
Yeah.
We're doing our best.
So I'm just not going to say anything. And then you just talk. And then we'll be under an hour.
Well, we got 9 minutes.
I'm totally kidding. I didn't have much to say this time.
Any questions about the notes from Integrated?
I don't think so. I'm excited we're giving away a e-course class thing.
For family teams, 7-day rhythms. 7-day family. Good.
Yeah.
Was that a double burp?
No, I was itching my eyebrow.
I was burping.
Nice.
Thank you for listening. The Remarkable giveaway is still live. I think we'll just make it live through that. It's like, I mean, it makes it up for a week. What we've decided, this is insider baseball for podcasters, is that we are going to give away something every month that we love to use.
Yes.
So we're starting with a Remarkable. We didn't do January. Obviously, we weren't here. So March, I don't know, something cool. We like cool stuff. We have the best taste in everything. Lastly, there's a few new songs on both playlists. Brooke actually added one on the worship playlist.
Wow.
Look out. Wow.
I like it.
Wow. There it is. Upstairs or downstairs?
Upstairs.
Okay, I love you. Bye.